Welcome everyone to round 3, the final round of April 9th Star Wars Unlimited night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday night, 6 p.m., $5 entry. And for our final round, our Maul LOF Force Blue is back against probably one of my favorite JTL leaders, besides of course Luke Skywalker. Odd cost Han. So Han JTL green. So a really fun deck. So it's completely different than the typical Han Solo builds I would prefer. In my opinion, I like Han Solo more in red than I like him in green, just because I get access to a Sudden Ferocity and I'm allowed to plot Sudden Ferocity and then trigger Han's ability to allow me to restand my resources. I prefer that a little more over the green, but I can see why people like the green as well. The one thing the player with the Han is missing is the Anakin's Pod Racer. They have a different Pod Racer in the deck, but yeah, so the whole gimmick of odd cost Han is odd cost. Your deck has to be completely odd cost for a lot of his stuff to really work. On his front side, he says action, tap himself, target it, flip the top card of your deck. Then you can target a unit that has a different odd cost, then target a unit to attack with. If the unit you targeted has a different odd cost than the top card of your deck, you get a +1 to your attack. He flips on 5. He can flip for vanilla, or he can flip onto a ship. And again, if he flips onto a ship, then you can restand resources up to the number of odd cost units and upgrades that are on the battlefield, including himself. So if you have 2 odd cost ships and himself, you can restand 3 resources. So again, that's why I like in the red, because you can go Sudden Ferocity as your plot first, putting it under the Han after he's done flipping, and then of course afterwards you can then restand the 3 resources that you had, because then Sudden Ferocity, being a 3-cost card, allows you to then have another upgrade that you can then utilize to restand another resource. It's a really fun deck. If you guys have never played Odd Han, give him a shot. I know he's not great, especially if your local scenes is running more in red when there's System Shock and there's System Shock and you have Outer Rim Constables running around. It's not really a great time to run into this type of leader, but still, he's a very fun leader. Give him a shot, guys. I prefer red over green, but we'll have to see how this odd cost green goes down against this Maul deck. So again, being a JTL leader, we're going to see a lot more space stuff in the sky, but we can run a little bit of ground presence as well. Again, all our stuff is going to have to be odd cost, so we can utilize the effect of Han Solo. So without further ado, let's jump into game number 1. All right, so here we go for game number 1. Let's see what we got here. We're going to go start with a Karis, then we're going to go for an A-Wing, and then we're going to go for a Y-Wing. Immediately starting off the sky. Once again, we have everything has to be odd cost in our deck. We do have the Han Solo here upgrade, as well as a Nim Num, which of course I think gets a +1 for each different pilot upgrade on the board. Say we're going to have Karis swing for 2 damage on the base here. Where it looks like we're going to go trigger for the odd cost Han. We're going to flip the top card of our deck. That is a 3 there, so that is the Shuttle Tiberius, which means the A-Wing does get an additional +1 here. Then we're going to go for, I believe, the a good old GI, the Grand Inquisitor, down in the ground here. We're going to go for the swing from the Y-Wing, doing 1 more damage here. We're going to go for a ping and a ping from the good old Maul Man, burning the force here. Then we're going to go for, of course, the Ebon Hawk, which again, on attack, you may reveal a yellow card or a white card, a heroic card, you get +2. If you reveal a villainy card, you give -2 to whoever you're attacking at. So anyways, we're going to go for Shadow Point onto the Ebon Hawk, just removing that thing, because again, we'll be able to show a heroic card and be able to use Han's ability to give it a nice bonus there. Anyways, we're going to go for Han Solo A-Wing into that immediately. Remember, Han Solo immediately plays an upgrade, attacks immediately with the unit. If it's the Falcon, it immediately gets an effect here. We're going to go for Nim Num. Nim Num is going to be able to gain an additional resource here. So we're going to tap the effect of Han Solo. We're going to swing with the Y-Wing. Y-Wing gets to attack. It gets a +1 on attack, plus then Nim Num, plus Nim Num's effect of having an additional pilot onto the board state. So that's pretty nice there. So not too bad here. Again, we do have the Millennium Falcon as well, but again, really only nice for like when the Han Solo pilot comes out. Again, there's no pilot that Han Solo unit that Han Solo right now can go piloting onto, because again, there's no, not like the Millennium Falcon from JTL where you can actually add more than 1 pilot attached to it. So anyways, we're going to go for Odd Cost Han to allow for the attack here again. and any odd cost allows that for attack, so we're just going to have the A-wing attack again here. Really fast and really aggressive. I mean, that's what this deck can do. The problem for them all now is these guys have now been buffed up by, their defenses have now been completely buffed up thanks to their pilots onto them. We're going to go for the Maul to burn the force here to then do 2 damage. 1 damage each of them. We're going to figure out what we want to do here. We're going to go for the Y-wing swing. Again, the whole aspect why our odd Han player isn't flipping over their guy. So anyways, they're going to go for the Karis. Again, they forgot they didn't have the force here. They're going to go for the shuttle Tiberius. That will allow them to have the Han next turn. We're going to go and have the Trace Acolyte kill off the Y-wing, just removing the Nim Num from being a nuisance here. And then looks like they actually are going to go after the the A-wing, apologies, instead of the Y-wing. The Y-wing is then going to swing in with the Nim Nom there. And then we're going to decide to flip over potentially Han here. So Han is going to go on Shuttle Tiberius. That is going to be that is going to restand for up to 4 resources because of Shuttle Tiberium, the Y-wing, Nim Num, and Han Solo are all odd costed units. And that's just going to draw another 2 there with the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 as long as now Han doesn't do anything on his backside. That's his whole gimmick on his backside besides being a +3/+4 for upgrading onto a ship. I don't know what the Shuttle Tiberium, I believe it's a mill top card of your deck. I have never really done that. So anyways, we're going to get the Shuttle Tiberium here and allowing that, then we can still have the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 to swing for up to 5 damage. The problem is now the ground is going to get a little out of hand here because of the Maul is able to flip here to go for that. So anyways, we're going to swing in. The Nim Num is again going to get that extra plus onto its attack because of that. So anyways, then we're just going to, looks like a potential scoop up there. Okay, so I think what they showed was that they did have a trigger for the 𝐕𝐵𝐃. So the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 swings for 5. I believe this deals enough damage to where the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 can win the game here, because as long as you deal 5 damage to this base, this goes up to 25. So the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 just needed 5 more to get pushed over the 30, and this doesn't do enough for it. And again, the 𝐕𝐵𝐃 can actually just spin something back to our opponent's hand so before they play something, all that, because again, that's all pretty nice. Again, they also have the ambusher they could play out for 4 or 5 to kill something on opponent's board state. But yeah, so this game will go to, it looked like, Han JTL, because I believe 100% that the shuttle, this swung in, is going to be able to do the extra 5 damage, pushing it over, and then unfortunately this is not going to be enough to push them over to 30 health points, because they're already at 20 here, plus another 5 puts it to 25. Because again, Nim Num gets the extra plus here, and then this is just enough to win out the game, right? Because they just showed this, and then they had this to play out as well. So nonetheless, game 1 goes to Han JTL Green. Here we go, folks. Game number 2. Let's see how fast this one goes down. Again, it looks like both our players are just a little bit talking on the nature of what the game is coming to and all of that. So we have some nice little cards in there. It looks pretty fun. Like, again, this Han is a really fast. If you can get it going, it can beat you in the stick. It beats Stikia because of the nature of how Han Solo triggers. So anyways, it looks like we're going to pay a 1. It looks like we may have a 1 cost. I believe it's the Cannon Runner. But unfortunately, the Cannon Runner is not a space unit. It's actually a ground unit for some reason. And that's just going to put a Nim Num under it. Again, because again, we'll be able to get a +1 for each additional pilot we decide to put onto the ground here. Or put attached to ourselves. But it also gives it an additional +2 health points there because we definitely need it. It's unfortunate, though, that we have to deal with that on the ground instead of that in the sky. So anyways, we're going to go for the odd cost Han. That is going to allow us to swing with the Falcon swing there. And then we're going to go for the GI. And then we're going to go for Never Tell Me the Odds. We're going to mill the top 3 cards of our deck for each different odd cost unit. We can deal that much damage. So again, 4 odd cost units on odd Han, 1 on the opponent's side of the board, meaning that the GI just gets killed there. It does not protect you from getting murked by damaging effects. Yeah, I love Never Tell Me the Odds because most of the time it always triggers for you, and never really. And I've had it before where I've had opponents where I've gotten 5 to 6. It's get real lucky to get the 6. It's more common to see the 4 than anything else. It's a lot of common to see the 3 depending on what your opponent's playing. But the hilarious and more aspect fun of what No Glory on the results Never Tell Me the Odds is it says each opponent mills the top 3 cards of their deck. If you're in Twin Sun pods, that's a fun just to mill the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck at all times and being able to then snipe something for mass damage because of all the different odd costs. I haven't never done it in Twin Suns yet. Never been gotten lucky. Most of the times my locals really don't play a lot of Twin Suns. I know people like it. I just don't get to play a lot of it. So anyways, we're going to go for the MC30 here, coming down the battlefield here, and then we're going to go for, it looks like, go to all the Count Dooku onto the ground there. Unfortunately, Count Dooku's missing his shield token. There we go, shield token. So anyways, going to go for odd cost Han, showcasing, of course, Han's golden dice, which of course mills the top card of your deck. If it's an odd cost, then you can then oh shoot, what's the effect trigger? if it's an odd cost, then you immediately get to have you create a credit token. So middle top card of your deck, if it's odd cost, you create a credit token. We're just going to put down the Falcon, of course, after flipping Han Solo onto the Y-Wing, swing with the Han Solo, and then that's going to allow that. And then it looks like we're just going to get a straight scoop up there. There's really nothing they could do. The Maul players now just gotten swarmed down to the back. Swarmed. I mean, a second, like the Han's dice can create credit token. It's not really that impactful here because it doesn't give you a plus additional attack. But the Nim Num is dangerous because Nim Num could potentially go over the MC-30 frigate, get an additional attack point because of a pilot being on the battlefield, and the Ebon Hawk can easily use this just to get the extra 5 attack points. So yeah, and then immediately you could also swing with the Falcon because the Falcon gives a unit +2 in the sky and then another unit -2. So there was really nothing the Maul player could do. I mean, this is what this deck could do. It can go fast, it can go quick, and it can punch you hard. So I absolutely love Odd Han. I just wish he could do a little better in the meta. Again, I think it'd only really be better if JTL leaders weren't so squishy to get knocked off of fighters and stuff like that, besides Luke Skywalker for some unknown reason. But nonetheless, it's still a really fun leader. It definitely inspired me to come back. Again, I feel more, in my opinion, that red Odd Han is the better build, but I do like the green. I think the green isn't too bad. It gives you another copy of the Falcon because we lost the Falcon piece of junk from Spark of Rebellion out when we rotated. But still, he's a really fun leader, guys. If you've never played Odd Cost Han, give him a try. There's a lot of leaders out here that, again, I really want to play and all of that. And the time of this recording, Ashes of the Empire has just been revealed for us. So yeah, just 1 month in and we're already talking Ashes of the Empire. It's really crazy that we're already discussing Ashes of the Empire. We're only a month in this format. Well, I think the format is still very open, somewhat. It's still kind of crazy because we really don't even have a ban list just yet for this format, even though I think we should honestly start having one. But it is kind of crazy to think that Ashes of the Empire is already getting revealed to us, and I believe it comes out 1 week before the Galactic Championship as well. So good luck to everyone testing for the Galactic Championship with the new set just coming out a week afterwards. I hope people got their cases of all their product they need. And man, our price is going to hike for legendaries out of that set because of the Galactic Championship. But nonetheless, guys, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the gameplay and on the decks. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you get notified when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time. I'm on Dragons TCG.